Hello YouTube, this is William. There comes a part of the day to where it's just too hot to do anything outside. We've been having triple digits, just temperature, and then the heat index has been 107, 110. I mean, it's just been hot. Put fans on you and it's like beating hot air. So anyway, I thought maybe I'd do a video right quick of kind of give you guys an idea of where designs come from and how they're devised in my case. Now every craftsman has their own way of doing things, but this is how I come up with new designs, and it's really not a science. I don't sit down with a sheet of paper and draw something out and say, oh, that's cool. A lot of times I have a concept in mind, and I will play around with that design until it gets to the point to where after using it, and I'll say, yeah, that's what I had in mind, and that ticks all those boxes. That was the case with the WCSK. I had a concept in mind, and with using other people to test them out while I was designing and getting feedback from those, that's how the WCSK evolved and became what it is now. Another example of that is the Master Woodsman, the basic Master Woodsman's design and concept. If you go back through the videos 6-7 years ago, you'll see me playing with that design, the Woodsman's Grind, out in the woods for probably several months, tweaking that design and getting it to where I thought it fit all the boxes that I was looking for. Now, there's also another side to that. Everybody doesn't use a knife like I do, okay? So as a business owner, I have to consider that. I have to say, well, it fits my needs, but is it going to appeal to the mass majority? Now, many times that's the last, well, I say many times, most times that is the last thought I have as to how it looks. My primary goal is function. My primary goal is versatility. If I'm not making a fillet knife just to fillet. I want a fillet knife that's going to be a boning knife. I want a fillet knife that's going to do a little bit of wood crafting, not a whole lot because you want a thin blade, but at least it has enough strength there to do feather sticks and do them well. So you want to have that versatility in there, because many times you don't want to take a whole set of kitchen knives with you. You're not going out in a butcher shop where you have a selection of 15 or 20 different knives. You're going to have at the most 2 or 3 knives with you. So the more versatile those knives are, the better off you are in the field, okay? So, as I progressed as a hunter and an outdoorsman, from a wee little lad to a wee little adult, we can dream, can't we? Versatility is what I thought was lacking in the knife world. I was blown away when I saw the Mora 2000 that had the multi-grind concept with that several years ago. And then when I saw the Tracker model, it's really not a multi-grind, but it has the different aspects of an edge. It's not just a straight edge or just a plain serpentine edge. It has a hook. It started, the light bulb started going off in my head and saying, what if? And so that's where the multi-grind came from. Is I'm standing on the shoulders of those that's gone before us, and they stood on the shoulders of someone else. So that's how all of this progresses. We keep pressing the envelope and creating and just getting out there on the limb and see if it breaks. That's how it comes up. So anyway, that's my thought philosophy and the reason I make knives the way I do. Okay. So I'm going to move the camera down. I've got some prototypes on the table, and we're going to just talk about those for a moment and just kind of give you guys an idea. And some of these are going to be on sale next week, so I'm doing the marketing thing as well. So Versatility. I always remember that. Don't do one thing. Do several things at one time. All right. For instance, this is the new Master Sportsman's that's going to be released in the fall. That'll give me time to get some of the things off the books and get you guys knives that you have ordered before another model comes out. But I am constantly playing around with models. You can't always stay in the grind room or you're going to lose interest. So everybody keeps saying, don't burn out, don't burn out, don't burn out. All right. The reason I don't burn out is I sneak off every now and then and don't tell anybody and go camping just to blow off some steam. But I also, the main thing I do is what I love doing is knife design. So, you know, here and there I'll sneak off in the shop instead of doing what's on the books to order. I'll play around and make different designs. That's how I blow off steam. Okay, so I don't burn out. All right, so I appreciate all your concern, but I was burnt out one time, and well, a couple of times when I was in the construction management world, and believe me, William's not going to go there again. All right, okay. So let me move the camera down, and we'll look at some prototypes and one-ofs, and like I say, some of these knives are going to be on sale the weekend of the 1st of July. So pay attention, folks. All right, okay. Here we go. I'm going to bump you around a little bit. Okay, I hope you guys can see all of this. I think you can. I got the microphone in my way a little bit. I think you can see all these. Now, for instance, how this little fiasco came about. This is a mini. Now, what happened was I was training a new guy, and just kind of give you guys a heads up. I spent more time training people over the last 2 years than I probably should have. I've had, I counted up like 9 people come through the shop in the last year and a half. Only one of them stayed longer than a year. And I spent more time training than if I'd have just done it myself, I'd probably been better off. But anyway, what happened was when he went around shaping the handle to the blade, he ground off the hidden lanyard part. So I created a mini. It doesn't have a lanyard on. So this one here I caught, and I put a hollow pin at this part, so you did have a lanyard. This one I couldn't catch, it already had a handle set. So anyway, that sometimes is how a knife design is invented, or a different concept is invented. There's a mistake made, or I'm saying a mistake because it's only a mistake if you throw it away. If you reuse it, and then it's not a mistake, it's an opportunity, it's a challenge. So that's what these were, okay? This one here is a fire and bone with a full flat. See how the full flat? And I was just in the shop playing around with a blank, and I said, what if? And if I could blend that like the Kansball, you see the Kansball from the mower, how they blended that back. I took it a little bit further and just blended it back into that Scandi portion there. And so that's just playing around in the shop and coming up with a different concept, and saying, what if it was a thinner handle? And this is Bird's Eye Bacardi handle, by the way. So that's where this fire and bone came from, with a full flat. Okay. Then I said, okay, what about a fire and bone with just a skeleton handle and no handle at all? So I played around with it, and I came up with this one. And for different aspects, it's a great concept. For me, it's not my favorite, but for somebody else out there, it may be. Okay, so this one here, I've always liked spade blades. I think spade blades is a phenomenal tip for skinning game and butchering game. I would say butchering, because butchering, you want something a little bit different to butcher, but for skinning purposes, this is a great little tip. And I said, what if we put a wedge? Because a wedge always helps you in the skinning portion. When you run that blade up a leg, you want a wedge to wedge that hide away from the meat. So I got a wedge here with a tooth and a Scandi portion. So I like the tooth. The tooth is phenomenal, even during game prep, because it is my buddy Tim at Meat Trapper has pointed out in his videos after reviewing these blades. That's a one serration. So you can imagine if you had 2 or 3 of those, that would be a serration. But that one serration right there is phenomenal, getting through tendons and gristle and things like that. Until you use one, you really don't understand it. But it is a phenomenal piece of ingenuity there, that one tooth. Now this one here was, I was grinding on, I don't remember what this was. I think it was a Sportsman's Choice, because that's a very thin blade. Probably what this was. And I made a mistake in the grind, so I was tired, and I kept grinding. And I said, well, we're going to salvage it. And so I just made this little design here. And basically all it is a saber grind with a little bit of a straight part with a little sweet spot, a drop down, and a belly with that clip or spay tip. And basically that is a skinning jewel right there. It's very thin, sliced like a laser. So it's just one of those knives that is too good to throw away the steel. So let's save it. Let's use it. Let somebody else use it. Okay. And I use this logo here to indicate that it's not a model that's named. It's a prototype or a concept. Okay. That's what that reversed or mirrored logo means. This one here is another spay blade. I salvaged another design. I practiced a little bit on my full flat, how it blended back. So I used it so that it wasn't a total waste, and it came up with a blade that is very functional. It's very usable. Someone out there is going to love this knife, and you know, so why not pass it on to somebody to enjoy? So that's where these came from. Now this one here, I had a concept in mind. This is called a Mule Skinner. It's prototype A. Very thin blade. I love the sweet spot, love the big belly. It's got the drop down for the to get your hand out of the way. It's almost a clip blade. It's just it's got the serpentine type deal. I just love this little knife. It's very light. So playing around with it, I think I'm onto something. And so I made this one here, which is a little bit more robust. This one's out of, I think it's 1/8 inch. So I, with a serpentine and the little drop down, little almost not quite a splay blade, but I think I'm onto something here. And I will probably keep playing around with this over the next few months, maybe a year or something. And eventually I will come up with a design that's very similar to this, and I will name it the Mule Skinner. Okay. I think that has very good potential with that little tooth right there. See, I didn't have a tooth there, and I missed it when I was using it. I said, it would be better with that tooth, so I made this one. So this is a prototype B, and I'll probably laser a B there with Mule Skinner on it. But these, and I don't know if there's any more in the drawer or not, but we're going to have a sale probably the 1st of July. There will be a video up about at least 24 hours prior to the sale, maybe 48, depends on my schedule and how I get things done. But and we'll have a mini sale for the 4th of July and get some cash flow back into the company and get you guys some knives that has been sitting in drawers for a while, and they need to go somebody to use and enjoy. So, but anyway, this kind of gives you an idea of my thought process. So I hope I hope that that kind of gives you guys an idea of how things happen around here. It's a lot of times it's a surprise, to be honest with you. I guess it's one of those things to where if you play around with things long enough and use them long enough, that the creative juices will lead you in a direction. And I guess that goes with everybody that's a craftsman or somebody that creates things. If you find a niche that you enjoy, and you find something that gets you up in the mornings, that's the main thing. What gets you up in the mornings? If it's not what you do for a living, then you need to find out what that is, because you're not going to succeed if it's not. Okay? Because I tried that in many years. I was successful, but I wasn't happy, and to me, that's not successful. As far as monetary things and all this other stuff, I had the big houses, I had the pools, I had the fine cars, I had all of that stuff, but I wasn't happy. And so you need to find that niche that makes you happy, and get you up in the mornings. Okay, so I didn't want to be philosophical. I want to just kind of give you guys an idea of how WC knives evolve and how they come about sometimes. Now, anyway, I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until the next one, you get the backyard whittle on a stick. Be sure to take a child with you, get the opportunity. And don't forget those penny band-aids and lots of dives. Ooh, guys. We'll catch you again very soon. Bye.